orientation we have here at Finningley, approximately north-south runway. Right about midday we won't be staring into the sun, it'll go behind us. Most of the aircraft will be running in from the left, coming in from another XRF station further north here, Blenheim. Now, feature NF11, just getting airborne, start to display. Actually built in 1952, powered by two Mark 9 Rolls-Royce Derwin engines. The aircraft spotted amongst you, it bears the serial number WM167, but we'll be seeing more of the Blenheim later. Once the Blenheim's airborne, as with a historic aircraft, we'll be moving straight on to the Air Force current front line. And now to your left you can just hear the power coming on the two engines of the Tornado as he gets airborne to follow the Blenheim round in that gentle left-hand circuit so they can join up for the formation flypast. They of course were designed to have tail skids, not a very good idea to land on a hard runway, so they're using the grass strip, again parallel to the main runway here at Finningley. The three aircraft that are, first three aircraft you see are the C5A replicas, very sort of square-fronted engine, looking desperately at the moment for the fourth, hopefully is around somewhere. That's got quite a different engine, more circular in appearance, and that's the Sopwith Camel. Right, almost directly in front of the centre of the cloud line, the three SE-5As about to line up, way down to the left. Slightly longer nose and with this sort of strange stepped cockpit windscreen. 40. 5 years, and eventually this second Blenheim airborne, flown by Hugh Proudfoot this year, in fact. First flight, some 40 minutes, fairly trouble-free. Second flight was for over 2 hours, under the leadership of John Romain, a man with a great deal of dedication, getting this aircraft into the air. Finished in a very distinctive colour scheme. It's all black, night fighter colour scheme representing the aircraft flown by one of the Royal Air Force's most distinguished pilot, Wing Commander, the Honourable Max Aitken, son of Lord Beaverbrook, and of course the War Minister for Aircraft Production. Stripped of some of the extraneous equipment to make it slightly faster. First flight ceremony, not the first flight, the first flight ceremony took place Friday, 20th of May here at Dustin. During the 6 months in 1941, Blenheim sunk some 70 enemy ships, so it had a reasonably successful war, but damage during some of the low-level attacks. One of the early raids, for instance, 12 aircraft.
And now has gained over 2,000 hours on Tornado, one of the most experienced Tornado pilots around.
The Nimrod's powered by Rolls-Royce Spey engines. It's the only four-engine jet maritime reconnaissance aircraft in the world. Packed with an amazing number of sensors to detect today's modern submarines. It's got a very, very good radar, the search water radar, which can not only pick up surface contacts, but can actually pick up periscope snorts or actually identify individual ship types. That huge weapons bay that you saw open can carry a vast array of weaponry, harpoon, air-to-surface missile, for instance, and also torpedoes. And that searchlight out on the right-hand wingtip submarine. Passive sonobuoys, the active ones are the one that sit there in water and make pinging noises, and when they detect something large and metal, it bounces back so you know there's something around. The passive ones are the ones who just sit there and listen, and you lay a particular pattern, all the information comes back to the onboard computerized navigation and tech system, that enables an attack to be mounted, say with the weapons carried in that massive bomb bay. During the South Atlantic confrontation, the aircraft was also equipped with Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. I suppose that probably made it the largest fighter in the world. That was when the flight fuel probe was also added. That makes this one a Mark II. Extended the operational time on search when the aircraft was flying from the Second Island down. Sergeant Stu Andrews and the actual aircraft captain, Flight Lieutenant Duncan Milne. They're all from Crew 8 of 206 Squadron. Running in now from the left, final pass. Watch as it pulls up. You can fly a couple of very flares during the climb. Training command colour schemes. Next to it, a slightly more lumpy aeroplane, the current advanced training aircraft and weapons conversion aircraft used by the Royal Air Force. That's the Hawk. So they'll be airborne to the hold, and say returning for a flypast in formation later, then for individual displays. Mitchell. About 11,000 Mitchells were produced during the war. The United States Army Air Force received a total of just under 10,000 of them. The Royal Air Force had 70, and the rest of them basically went to the Soviet Union. Initially flew in August 1940. First B-25 was completed with the full wing dihedral. That means it bends down rather than up, but that actually had it inadequate directional stability. In other words, it sort of rolled all over the place. So it led to a reduction in the dihedral outboard of the engines in later aircraft. So it now has a sort of rather gull wing appearance. The Mitchell B-25As started arriving to the 17th Bomber Group in 1941, followed by about 120 B-25Bs. They had increased gun armament. The version that actually joined the Royal Air Force initially was the Bs, and they were called the Mitchell Mark 1s. The B-25Bs were also the aircraft that won Lieutenant Colonel James H. Doolittle led a formation. They went to attack Tokyo after, of course, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. Medium-range tactical bomber, could carry a crew of 4 or 6. Either had 1 or 2 pilots, a navigator bomber, tail gunner, waist gunner, and 1 radio laser. Typical bomb load would be about 6,000 pounds of bombs, powered by 2 Wright cyclone engines. You've got a 1,700 horsepower each, so if you work out what your sort of family car produces about 80 horsepower, you realise that, fairly powerful engines. The gunship. During wartime, fully is a J model, and that in RAF service would have made it a Mark III. This one is the flagship of the Duke of Brabant's Air Force. As far as the Americans were concerned, the B-25 was the first aircraft to sink a German U-boat in 1941. First bombing mission after the defeat of Pearl Harbor, so those were the aircraft dispatched to attack Tokyo. So the war has earned its place in aviation history. The 18th Squadron was formed during the Second World War, operated from Australia. The base was Batchelor, near Darwin. It's from there that B-25 missions were launched against the Japanese Navy. By the end of the war, 2 propaganda missions were actually launched to drop leaflets over prison camps and Java Island. These were flown by these B-25s, flying at maximum range using Bombay ferry tanks. Squadron. May 1990, the aircraft was ferried by a 4-man crew from the Duke of Brabant Air Force via Goose Bay, Canada, Greenland and Iceland to Ico. The squadron colours that she's wearing are of the wartime 320 Squadron.
That's moving from West, yeah.
Aircraft, and this, as always, should be a very impressive sight. The question is, who's going to get here first? Will it be the Bulldogs this year, or will it be the Dominies? Ladies and gentlemen, if you look now to your left, Royal Air Force Finningley Station Flypast. of course, would be that as soon as he's on the runway, he'd use the power and the reverse thrust from those Allison engines to stop as quickly as possible and then offload the cargo. Well, they'll actually be opening the cargo door, but nobody's actually going to get off this time.
Going backwards, isn't it?
Not necessary this time. Also, a very short runway or very limited preparation, then you could use this technique to back right away up to the end of the runway,
Good display. Yes. Oh dear. Oh dear. The equipment's broken down.
Now, obviously, being able to do short tactical landings and short tactical takeoffs is going to be a very good way of delivering stuff, presupposing you've got a runway. Now, in places like Ethiopia, of course, if you remember, there weren't any runways, so the other way of delivering relief aid is using what's called a technique that's called ULA, ultra low level drop contact, 15 feet, and because they're coming in so low, they have the undercarriage down, and then the pallets would literally just be thrown out of the back. No parachutes, nothing technical. You just used to throw down the back, the things just bounce along, and then people can come and pick them up. So that's fine for sort of famine relief. You can actually use the same technique if you're dropping very heavy loads, and you can actually have a parachute that can extract pallets. And again, you'll be down at about 15 feet, you saw that.
Yeah, yes.
Then do tactical takeoffs. It's exactly the same technique that's now being used actually in Sarajevo, so you could probably call this the Sarajevo approach. So if you can imagine, the Hercules is now approaching the outer boundary of the airfield. Once it's within its own sort of defended zone, it then does this very unpleasant, or what appears to be a very unpleasant dive towards the ground, and at around about 300 feet you'll see the nose coming up. And though Don McIntosh will bring the aircraft sort of well into the airfield for its final touchdown, you could in fact obviously put it right on Allison engines in reverse thrust, do a very short tactical landing.
Oh, sorry.
Service ceilings 55,000 feet, range 10,000 Bombardment Squadron, based at Griffiths Air Force Base in New York State. Captain Pat Bush is...
He's going to be in the way, he's going to spoil it. Well, you're nearer to him than me. I'll give you these.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. No, that isn't the same. I'll explain it to you later, but yeah.
Is the Super Etendard.
The Falklands conflict. You can see that the hook has been extended at the back of the aircraft, showing its naval association. The in-flight refueling probe is clearly extended. That very much displaying undercarriage, so typical of the captain looked at in the end, including the Super Etendard, were all single-engine aircraft. Subtly from us in cloud there, you'll now see that Yannick Lahar has lowered the undercarriage of the Super Etendard. Actually, for a carrier landing, that would have been incredibly gentle, almost to the extent you probably wouldn't have actually got the tram. A three-man crew, top speed of 300 miles an hour, internal bomb bay with the capability of carrying one torpedo of 3 500-pound bombs, self-sealing fuel tanks, armoured protection, and a powered dorsal gun turret. number of companies submitted designs. Only 2 were shortlisted. Voight and 6 Squadron, 41 Squadron and 54 Squadron, the 3 Jaguar squadrons, all based at RAF Coltishall near Norwich. Just cleared now for takeoff, the Hawker Hunter, G-boom. It's actually a Hunter, 2-seat Hunter. Built by Hawkers in 1958 as a Mark 53 export version of the RAF standard T-Mark 7. Of course, he got the world airspeed record back in 1953. Today, my wing commander Mike Brooks. He joined the Air Force in 1962 direct from school. Actually finished up on number 16 Squadron in RAF Germany. Of course, that was a 16 Squadron Jaguar that we just saw. G-boom is still around, still on the display circuit.
I don't think for sure now.
The Meteor, of course, you've already seen. They've got de Havilland Venom, de Havilland Vampire, as well as a Super Swift. As you had actually seen on the display circuit, the first American jet, the North American F-86A Sabre. Jet heritage was actually established in late '88 with aircraft from the former Hunter 1 collection. And as I say, they keep adding to it and adding to it. It's quite an interesting collection, and of course the main aim is to keep all these aircraft flying, not to stick them in a hangar just so people can walk around and look at them. On his aircraft on its last year on the display circuit, the Buccaneer squadrons will remain in existence in the sense that there will be 2 RAF squadrons dedicated to maritime strike, but the Buccaneers will be replaced by Tornadoes. So the Buccaneer, another one of those aircraft that was expected to come to the end of its operational life without actually seeing action, and lo and behold, back in 1991, they were called out to the Gulf to provide the laser to release their bombs into the basket. Buccaneer, by the way, running in from the left. Once the bomb has been released, of course, they fly approximately to the target. The laser designation only controls the left first blue in 1958 as the PA-39. The defence white paper of 1957, which the late Douglas Sands declared that manned aircraft were obsolete and the future air force would fight with missiles, the Buccaneer, or prototype, was the only one that wasn't cancelled. Being designed for carrier operations, the wing and tail are actually drastically reduced in size, and the aerodynamics are actually increased by using a system of blowing air. That system actually gives the aircraft quite good low-level, low-speed handling characteristics. You can see there during the flypast with the undercarriage and the hook down its sort of naval ancestry. Off somewhere and reappeared after about an hour or so, and I said, don't worry, they will be back later. Well, there they are now at the end of the runway. They're from the Force Arens Tactique. They're from 3 Squadron, 3 Group. They're called Ardennes. Lead aircraft flown by Captain Monstetel and his number 2, Captain Dupuy. And these are Mirage 3s. In fact, they're actually Mirage 3Es, slightly longer than the basic Mirage 3 because they were basic Mirage was originally designed as an interceptor, and the Mirage 3Es are used as tactical aircraft for ground attack.
Actually being manned to almost a minimum level. We would normally perform around the country or in Europe with aircraft in close formation. 2 new shapes to watch out for in this year's display profile are Ether and Lancaster. In the second half of the display, we will separate 2 aircraft from the remaining 7. They're known as the synchro pair. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me very great pleasure to present for the final time in the UK for 1993, the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, ladies and gentlemen, the Red Arrows. The team have arrived in a form that shape will change to diamond. The speed of the aircraft is around about 150 miles an hour. And as they continue this first diamond loop, they'll accelerate towards our operating speed. It's around about 400 miles an hour.
Oh, that's it.
Now, when the team was formed in 1965, there were just 7 display aircraft. We've had 9 aircraft in our displays there now since 1968, and this diamond shape is now recognised throughout the world as the epitome of precision flying. It's become the trademark of the Red Arrows, and also the Red Arrows Trust, which through the efforts of the team pilots generates substantial sums of money for national and local charities. So let's watch now. We'll see reds 2 and 3 moving back along with their side of the formation. The shapes will change to one which we call shuttle. The pilots who take parts are reds 6 and 7. They are the synchro pair, and they're flying immediately behind the team leader as the team pilot from our right, the trading blue smoke, in preparation for the shuttle roll. The pilots are all volunteers to serve with the Red Arrows. They're drawn from a cross-section of the fighter aircraft types of the Royal Air Force today. Way to our left, you'll see that shape changing once again. This is the first of the new ones in our 1993 sequence. We call this EFA. It's our impression of the Eurofighter 2000, which will be the Royal Air Force's new fighter aircraft for the 21st century. Holding the banks. Now, look after them. As the team continue this trend, you'll see reds 4 and 5 moving from the very back to the front of the formation. Quickly, you'll see in front of this distinctive profile of the Lancaster, the second of the new shapes for 1993. Now 1993 is a special anniversary for Bomber Command, and our tribute to the crews who returned home with damaged aircraft in the Second World War. Just one of ours, Red 2, will trail smoke in the Lancaster Bend. Choose immediate right and left are the 2 new pilots for 1993. On Adrian's right, Red 2 is Flight Lieutenant Sean Chudenshin. Before joining the team, Sean leads the Jaguar in northern Iraq. Now the next manoeuvre the team will fly is one of the most difficult to perform with 9 aircraft in close formation. It's a barrel roll in a shape which we call delta. 5 aircraft on line of onto the roll. Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Benny Ball. Before Benny joined the team, he was a tactics and weapons instructor on the Hawk aircraft at RAF Brody in South Wales. The 2 pilots who are working hardest though in the first half of the display are Reds 4 and 5, and at the moment they're on the top and bottom of that diamond shape, which is now changing into 9 Arrow. Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Barry Cross. Barry used to fly the air defence fighter aircraft, the Phantom, at RAF Wattisham before joining the team. Flight Lieutenant Jerry Bird is Red 5. Jerry was a flying instructor on the Hawk aircraft at Chivenna before he joined the Red Arrows. From our left now, the team climbing in 9 Arrow. Quickly you'll see Reds 8 and 9 as they move in behind the other aircraft once again. The team will reform that trademark diamond shape. At the top of these looping manoeuvres, the team are around about 6,000 feet above us. They start to bend away from us, you'll see them trailing red and blue smoke, and during the next manoeuvre we'll separate into 2 sections. So watch now then for the 5-4 split. The 4-ship trailing blue smoke is made up of red 6, 7, 8 and 9 sections as they reposition in front of us. This time you'd like to get your cameras ready in preparation for the 5-4 cross. The Red Arrows have flown this aircraft, the British Aerospace Hawk, since 1980 at an industrial dive. If you'd like to look across the airfield now, you'll see the 2 sections as they position for the final manoeuvre of the first half of the display. And it's in this that will separate the synchro pair. That's those 2 aircraft climbing now. The leading 5 aircraft, though, are now pulling up in the leader's benefit loop. But if you'd like to look at low level coming straight towards us, watch first of all the 8-9 break. Separated, trailing red smoke. And for all the ladies here this afternoon, a nice big red heart in the sky. The main section coming towards us in the cascade will provide us with the arrow through the middle of that heart shape. The main section disappear behind us if you'd like to look to your left.
What's that?
Well, but it's top of cap up again. Yeah, we all do it. We all do it. As the main section roll out to our left, stand by for the return of the synchro pair. 5G as the 2 aircraft commence the line of stern loop. On top of this particular manoeuvre, around about 5,000 feet above us. Watch now then as that smoke colour changes once again to red and blue.